What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the PFS podcast post week 10. We had a great week. My name is Evan. We also have Pat, Drew, and Matt. Say what's up, everyone.
What's going
What's
on?
up, everyone?
How are we feeling after this last week?
Dejected.
I hear you.
Shocked. A lot of upsets.
Yeah, Pat?
Lions are back.
Okay.
Womp womp.
Sure. So, as we attempted to do last week, I'm going to start off with Evan's 2 minutes in heaven. So let's get right into it. All right. The Broncos edged out a 10-7 victory, even though Bo Nix threw 2 interceptions over the Raiders. Ugly game there. In Berlin, the Colts beat the Falcons 31-25 in overtime. Jonathan Taylor looks like he's the MVP after that performance, almost 300 yards. The Patriots beat the Buccaneers. Travion Henderson had a breakout game. We'll talk about that later. Dolphins beat the Bills handedly, 30-13. A-Chain went off in that game. Houston beating the Jacksonville Jaguars 30-29. A big comeback there. The Jets, Pat, your Jets won 27-20 over the Browns. Fourth quarter resilience, lots of special teams stuff there. The Ravens beat the Vikings 27-19. The Saints finally snapped their losing streak 17-7 over the Panthers. Tyler Show actually looked good. The Bears came back and beat the Giants. Russell Wilson looked bad. Caleb Williams looked good. The Rams beat the Niners 42-46. Big offensive performance there. Seattle killed the Cardinals 44-22. The score doesn't tell the story. It was a blowout. The Lions beat the Commanders 44-22 as well. The Commanders just looked bad. Sorry. The Chargers beat the Steelers 25-10. Also, the Steelers looked terrible. And then we are currently filming on Monday, so we don't know what's going to happen in the...
Not much happening.
There we go. Thank you.
That was
I
impressive.
hope that was within 2 minutes. All right.
I felt like
go.
I was in heaven.
That was something.
That's good. So it was a good week. Lots of upsets, like you said, Drew. I think after that, we should hop right into our stock segment. I'm going to go first because I want to get mine out. At least my first one. It's the one I'm most confident in here. So I went a different route with this. I went like kind of more league-wide, but the running back committees are trending up. If you look at, Pat, did you have...
Yeah, I did. I can't believe it. Back-to-back weeks.
How did you?
That's crazy.
Okay.
Oh my
He's
God.
had like 3 running backs, so that kind of just runs it.
I thought
runs it
nobody
out
would
for
have
me.
had that. Anyways, if you look at like a lot of the teams that won or like had good games on the ground this week, most of them except for the Dolphins with A-Chain and Taylor and the Colts, most of them were running committee running back rooms. Like Gibbs and Monty are your best example. 142 for Gibbs, 71 for Monty. The Falcons are silently a running back committee. Bijan, 84 on the ground. Algier, 57, and I think he had 2 touchdowns. Woody Marks on the Texans and Nick Chubb, 63-47. Charbonnet and Walker, that's probably your second best example. 83 for Charbonnet, 67 for for Walker. A lot of that was garbage time though. And then the Rams, Williams and Corum, 73-56.
Tracy, Devin Singletary, can't forget.
I didn't include them on purpose. We can probably
that one,
forget them.
honestly.
I don't know if you left them off. You let accident.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're trending up. I think that's how you keep your running backs healthy, is not putting them out there 100% of the time, because at some point they're going to get hurt if they're getting 35 touches a game, even though for the Colts, that's what they need to do to win, clearly.
Yeah.
Running back committees are trending up.
I feel like there's been a lot less.
Just league-wide, 4 running backs rushed for over 140 yards this week, including Taylor's monster game where he got 240.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who wants to go next? Pat?
I'll go before more of mine get taken. I'm going to go Dan Campbell, stock up. Took over offensive play calling for the Lions this week, and, they kept it pretty under covers. It felt like it wasn't really until, the game got going when people figured it out. But he was there looking studious with his glasses, calling out plays. And yeah, it's his first time calling plays since I think his first year where they start out 0-8 and then he called plays and then they went 3-3-1 down the stretch there. Or 0-9, I guess, something like that. I forget. Yeah, they were spreading the ball around. J-Mo got going, Gibbs got going, Montgomery got going. So stock up Dan Campbell as a play caller, not just a morale booster.
I like that. I didn't realize until after the game that he started calling plays, but I think that was probably the right move.
Yeah.
Good week.
It looked a lot more like the old Lions offense that we've come used to the past couple of years versus last couple of weeks.
Yeah. My question is, when head coaches decide to do that, what's the point of the offensive coordinator? Like, what are they doing? Are they just morale guys?
I think it's a lot of game plan stuff going into the game, like a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
schematic
what
things,
it's down to.
seeing the trends and stuff like that. Because the Commanders Dan Campbell's taking back over play calling for defense, but
Can't
you
win.
still have to have a defensive coordinator because there's going to be something you miss when you go into it. If the game flow is a little bit different than all the pre-planning stuff, so it's still helpful.
Okay.
And, it doesn't bode well for Morton, the Lions OC, or I forget. I'm blanking on Washington's defensive guy's name, but
Joe Jr.
But yeah, regardless, it doesn't not a great
Yeah,
great
it's
look
not.
for
It's
them.
not a good look. For
I
sure.
assume they're communicating though, and it gives the coordinator more time to actually look for opportunities, look at coverages, actually analyze during the games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean they're still working, they're still getting paid, and they have a job to do. But
Yeah, I think
is
it's an interesting
a demotion, pretty much.
Definitely.
I think.
100%.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and it
Very
hurts
cool.
when he wants to go look for a next job,
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Drew.
Definitely doesn't.
Yeah. I guess I'll do Tyler Shaw. Pretty stock up. Pretty impressive game.
Whoa.
We got Spencer Rattler out there. Terrorist. I'll say it again. Tyler Shaw, 19 for 27, 282 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against the Panthers, who came into this week. A lot of people were looking at him as a borderline playoff contender. I know, Pat, you were. Evan, I think you too. I'm at 7 seed. The Panthers were looking good, and they beat them 17-7 in only his second start at quarterback. That's pretty impressive. When the Saints have looked just
Terrible.
horrendous all year. Defense,
And they
offense.
lost Shaheed too, and they did that without him.
They lost
which is
Shaheed, yeah.
Also impressive.
And Kamara didn't have a great game, but he actually got going. He's been useless the last 5-6 weeks.
Well, they
So I
fed
love seeing
him.
the
He had
Saints.
23 touches.
Yeah, no, it's good. You got to get him involved. And I'm not saying that Shaw is going to be a franchise quarterback, that he's going to be the next big thing that brings the Saints back to glory, but it's definitely a move in the right direction, and I think Saints fans are happy to have a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, it just means that they don't have to go hunt for a quarterback as aggressively this offseason. As of now, with a performance like that, I mean, they'll be able to pace it out throughout the rest of the season. But it might be enough to have him be able to move the chains. I like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna
Stock down Spencer Rattler, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always been down.
Don't let that guy touch the field again.
Sucks at below.
Let that happen.
Matt, you are up.
All right, so I got, first of all, stock down Panthers offense. Rico Dowdle didn't get it going this week. That means Bryce Young has a lot more pressure to make things happen, and that's not the best case for him. I feel like he can be good as a sort of game managing guy who can have some upside at times, but when all the pressure goes on him, I think he kind of crumbles a little bit. So the offense for the Panthers definitely stock down. Defense held him to 17 points. Honestly, if you're holding any team under 20, you should be able to go out there and get the win, especially against the Saints, who haven't been looking great defensively sort of all year. They haven't been this sort of defensive powerhouse. So stock down offense for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had told me last week that two of our takeaways or two of our trends would have been from the Saints Panthers game, I wouldn't have
That's
believed you.
crazy. Well, also for the Panthers offense, how much of their recent success do we think has been inflated by Rico Dowdle? Has their passing game even been good this year? Bryce
It's
Young
been
hasn't made a ton of
noticeable.
mistakes, but he hasn't
McMillan
played
got
great.
going, but
Yeah.
he's their only receiver. I don't even
Yeah,
know
it's
who
not
their
like
tight
the
end is.
Rams or anything, but
Yeah, I feel like they're definitely overrated, and Dowdle has been a big part of that. He's phenomenal at football, but I think
Yeah.
his performance last few weeks has definitely elevated them as a whole in people's eyes, which I don't
For sure.
agree with.
All right. I will come at you with my second trend. I have Mac Jones stock up. And you can look at the score and be like, why Mac Jones stock up? But he was not the reason they lost that game. He actually played pretty well. He had 319, 3 touchdowns. He had a pick, 7 quarterback rating, and he completed 85% of his passes. Like, he was not the reason why they lost that game. Their defense is just so banged up that they couldn't stop the Rams whatsoever. That the over in that game was probably a lock from the start. The Rams offense scores like 40 every week, it seems like. So yeah, Mac Jones stock up. You could also do Brock Purdy stock down. I don't think at this point it wouldn't make sense to put him back in. Like, I know they paid him a lot of money, so let the guy get healthy while you have a serviceable backup at least. Like, this could also be another soft benching situation. So yeah, Mac Jones stock up.
Yeah, I think Purdy is in the midst of being soft benched. I haven't heard an update on his injury the last few weeks. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I saw like a weird press conference thing about it, but oh my goodness, Packers just fumbled again. Sorry, I saw like a press conference saying like, how long till Brock Purdy's 100%, and are you gonna put him out there? And Shanahan was like, I don't want to put him out there like we did versus Jacksonville, so we can get hurt again. Like, he needs to be completely 100%. So
yeah, I think he's going to be at 99% for the rest of the season.
he very well could be. All right, Pat.
I am going to go stock down Jacksonville Jaguars playoff hopes. That was a game Sunday that they were really in the driver's seat, and
that is exactly how I wrote that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now you know how it feels, huh? Doesn't feel
literally.
good.
I literally wrote Jags playoff hopes stock down, word for word.
But God. You know, I mean, they were riding pretty high after that Monday night win against the Chiefs a couple weeks ago, and you know, since then they've kind of nosedived. And yeah, I mean, with AFC, you know, there's a lot of teams. The Ravens are kind of making a push again, and it's not trending in a great way. And you know, 6-3, you feel they should be 6-3, and now they're staying at 5-4, and just doesn't feel great for them right now. They've been in a bad way as of late. Trevor Lawrence, 13 for 23, 5 sacks, 27.8 QBR. Not great.
Yeah, that's a must-have game if you're going to make the playoffs against the Davis Mills-led Texans.
Yeah.
Can't have that.
Hey, he looked good, though.
He's not a horrible backup, but you got to win that.
That's a weird situation. How many times do you see that where, like, a guy is a team starting quarterback and then he just, like, becomes their backup, you know?
Yeah.
Like, normally they leave somewhere else to become a backup, but he just kind of, like,
yeah.
I guess he kind of knew what he was, right?
He was never meant to be the starter there, really.
Yeah. It seemed more like a stopgap thing from the jump.
Yeah.
And then he was overperforming it. Honestly, it's not a bad situation to be in. To have the starting experience that he's had, and then now he still gets to come in. And
I said in my my Week 10 reactions today that I think he could have started for maybe 3 to 5 teams in the NFL right now.
Jets.
I don't think it's crazy to say that.
If you have them.
Definitely the Jets.
Browns.
Saints, maybe. I mean,
no.
After that performance, maybe not. Raiders, I would put him over Geno Smith.
Yeah.
This year, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
All right. Jacksonville Jaguars playoff hopes stock down. Drew?
Okay. I'm going Giants organization stock down. I'm
even
obviously
after
a Giants
firing
fan.
Daboll.
This is a bad week. I'll get to that, but I'll start off. We lost to the Bears 24-10 when we were up 20-10 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This isn't the first time this stuff has happened. A little stat I have for you boys. Listen closely.
24-20?
20-10 with 4 minutes left. We had a 93% chance to win. Giants are now 0-4 in road games this year where they led by at least 10 points. That just can't happen. I've said it for a while. I think Daboll, he's good at developing quarterbacks. Obviously, we saw it with Josh Allen in Buffalo. He had the 1 year with Daniel Jones. Obviously, he did something right with Daniel Jones not playing this well in Indianapolis. But he can't coach with the lead anymore. It's pathetic. I don't know what he's doing wrong, but obviously he got fired. Not a good look for the Giants. We made our offensive coordinator the interim head coach, so we'll see how that goes. And additionally, we got Dart, who was giving everyone hope. Scatterboo too. Scatterboo gets hurt out for the season. Dart gets a concussion yesterday. He's now been in concussion protocol 4 times this year. So he needs to change the style he's playing. Hopefully with Dable out, he's not going to be improvising as much because Dart's played well, but I don't think Dable's been the result of that at all. None of Jackson Dart's success has been from Dable's play calls. Dart has scrambled out of the pocket, improvised almost every great play he's had. So, also, why are we putting Russell Wilson in over Jameis Winston? No one wants to see that. Not one person.
I'm
We
surprised you
saw
guys didn't
Russell
trade
Wilson.
Jameis at the trade deadline.
That would have been fine, but if we
No,
have
that's
him,
what I'm
let's
saying.
play him. Like, it at least gives fans hope. No one who watches football dislikes Jameis Winston. I think 90% of people dislike Russell Wilson right now. Last time they put him in a game when Dart was in concussion protocol, the boos were crazy at home at MetLife. I don't get it. That's such a simple decision. We've seen that Russell Wilson can't perform this year. Let's put Jameis Winston in and just see him throw a pass. See what happens. But Dable fired. I'm interested to see what happens. We're probably going to suck next year too. Hopefully we get a good draft pick and we don't fuck it up. But we got to start winning some of these close games. At this point, it's just tanking, I feel like. But I still want to get some wins. Like, we're a talented team. But
Would your
yeah, sorry
draft
for
pick
rambling.
be number 2 now
Would it?
since the Saints won?
Let's see. Jets are at 2. Saints 2.
Yeah, you might be 2. Only the Titans
Browns
at
are
1.
at 2.
I guess we could
I
look
don't know
that
how
up.
the tiebreaker looks, but
I'm pulling up
just-
Tankathon.
I had so much hope just 2 months ago, and now it's all gone. I never saw this coming.
Titans, New Orleans, Giants, Cleveland, Jets,
Hey,
top 5
It's not
picks.
bad.
Like, we're so much better than all of those teams.
Tankathon has
Like-
Giants at number 3. I
India?
don't know if that's what you said, Matt.
Yeah.
Yep, because I pulled up the website faster than you.
All right.
Yeah, read 'em
I
off.
was like
All right,
locked
calm
in
down.
on pulling that.
Yeah.
I just you're stepping my toes a little bit. I said I was pulling up Tankathon.
New York
on-
Giants organization. Stock down.
You
Matt,
took my take.
let's hear your second pick.
My second one, and I'm pivoting, but it's still similar because I'm in a cynical mood with stocks this week, is Steelers playoff hopes stock down. The game against the Chargers, I don't think we were booking it as an automatic win, but it was in the tier of ones that they would have to win to make sure that they're keeping the pace. Now they only have 1 game ahead of the Ravens, and they still have 2 head-to-heads with them. So I think as we sort of look at either the Ravens or the Steelers, I don't think either one of them that is not winning the division is making the playoffs. So I think right now, the way that with the Ravens win and the kind of bad loss to the Chargers, I mean, losing by 15, having Rodgers throw 2 picks and, fumble mixed in there doesn't really sit too well when you get put 3 turnovers on the board. And they got after Herbert a little bit with 5 sacks, but with the defense that you have and the O-line that they have, you kind of hope that there was a little bit more going on there to sort of stop that offense, even though it wasn't a huge explosive week for them. But so it's one of the ones you got to win.
Yeah, and I mean, my third take is like similar to that. It's a Steelers take, but I wouldn't say it's the same one. So I'll just run right into that.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about both of them. I had Aaron Rodgers stock down.
Yeah. I was
If you
thinking about
guys,
him too.
I don't know if you guys watched the game last night, but
Mhm.
he was overthrowing everyone. He missed that one DK easy touchdown. He was just overthrowing or underthrowing everybody. It was weird.
Yep.
Like, this was New York Jets Aaron Rodgers, and it was just a little confusing because also, like, him and DK's connection was way off for whatever reason yesterday. DK had 7 targets, only 3 catches. It was just a strange performance from him. 1 interception was his fault. The second one, it was a tip pass. And yeah, so Aaron Rodgers stock down. In terms of what you said, Matt, the defense wasn't really the problem. They had 11 tackles for loss, which is pretty crazy.
Not the
5
solution,
sacks.
though. They let up still 25 points.
And well, yeah,
But I'm just saying. No, I know.
2 of those were safety. I think only 2 of those touchdowns were their fault. The other one was bad field position. They got put in a corner there. I'm not trying to defend them in any way possible.
No,
but
no.
the defense
No,
wasn't
no.
exactly the problem. The offense just couldn't get going whatsoever, and that was because of Rodgers' bad performance. So
Yeah.
Steelers
Yeah,
stock
it's rough.
down, Aaron Rodgers stock down. So we'll see.
Warren
They play
didn't even have
Cincinnati
that bad
next
of a game.
week. He averaged 5 a carry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So we'll see what happens next week. The Cincinnati game, I think they'll probably win because they aren't going to get swept by the Bengals, but we'll see.
Don't say never.
I didn't say never. I said we probably won't get swept.
Weird take,
Not
Drew.
what you
Yeah,
said.
stock down.
We're
Drew
just
understanding
trading the
what people are
past
saying.
Yeah.
now.
All right,
Evan
Pat.
just completely.
All right. I'm going to go a little bit off the beaten path here. I'm going to go stock down Kenny Pickett. I don't know if you watched the end of that Raiders game on Thursday. Geno was just like hobbling, like pretty lame out there in obvious pain. It kind of makes you wonder what Pete Carroll thinks about Kenny Pickett if, Geno has not been a world beater by any stretch of the imagination, and then he's playing with a banged up shoulder and can barely move, it kind of makes you wonder how Kenny Pickett's doing over there. I
Pat,
don't
you're
know if he's in the
glitching. You're
doghouse or if
glitching a
he's
little
just
bit
playing
here.
lousy, but that was
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Well,
huh? Okay. All right. Yeah, Kenny Pickett,
That
Geno Smith was pretty banged up and hobbling. He's not been like a world beater all year. So kind of makes you wonder what they think of Kenny Pickett over there. If, the offense wasn't doing anything, it hasn't been doing anything. And Geno's obviously in some pretty serious pain at the end of the game there. And Kenny Pickett kind of looked like he was half expecting to go in, and number never got called. Stock down, Kenny Pickett.
I don't know how you could possibly let Geno keep hobbling back out on the field right out of the medical tent. I mean, the guy couldn't even
Money.
walk to the edge of the sideline.
Yeah.
yeah.
Money.
It was a winnable game,
terrible.
though, and I'm sure
No, I agree. I agree with you.
they
but
thought
that's
Geno
why.
thought it was the best chance to win.
They're
but,
paying
like-
this guy so much money. They think, hey, we need to stick with him. Hopefully it works out. I
I
agree.
stock
Pickett
down
shouldn't have been put
Pete
in. He's still a young guy.
Carroll for
Well,
having no Cuevos.
I think Pete Carroll needs to call it. Like, he's like 74.
He's up
This
there.
isn't it. You don't
He's
want to
up
be
there.
coaching the Raiders.
All right, Drew, let's hear it.
Yeah, so I got Brown special teams stock down. I think they single-handedly lost that game, in my opinion. Gave up a
14
99-yard kickoff return touchdown, and then a 74-yard punt return touchdown 36 seconds later. I'm just saying. The Jets played horrible on offense. Breece Hall was averaging 4 yards a carry. He had like over 20 carries. That's not that great. Justin Fields, 6 for 11 for 54 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Their leading receiver, Breece Hall, 42 yards on 1 catch. No other Jets player caught more than 1 catch, not even Breece Hall. And no one else had more than 4 receiving yards. That's pathetic. If not for the special teams, giving up those 14 points, the Browns would have won this game. It's pathetic. Tell me if you disagree, Matt.
I
don't
actually
disagree at all.
factored that
I
into my
totally
predictions.
agree. I was saying
I
You
factored
factored
the
that in?
special teams
Picking
in
the
when
Jets?
I was like, they're going to give up probably at least one
you're
touchdown.
so pick me. You're so pick me.
Sure.
Get the hell
Sure.
out of here.
I think you
I
could
just-
also go.
That wasn't
Stock
anywhere.
up for-
That was not anywhere.
Up
I
here.
think you could go stock up for Tyrod Taylor too.
Yeah,
Just
TT
feels
Yeah.
is not the guy.
Well,
might get some
But
reps.
Justin Fields won the game. He managed to.
He didn't manage it very well.
They
He
haven't
won
lost
the
in 3
game.
weeks.
Played
Yeah,
like
I
shit, but
guess.
he won. They have not.
I love those, Pat. All right. Last but not least, I got stock up to Jonathan Taylor. Kind of obvious, but also even as being a running back in the MVP race, the fact that he can keep increasing his stock is kind of impressive. Having the game he did is absolutely baffling. I mean, 3 total touchdowns being the only sort of offensive, catalyst for your offense. Kind of huge. 244 yards on the ground with another 42 receiving. It's kind of baffling. It's just awesome watching, honestly. Like a pure running back.
That
just doing his
82-yard
thing.
touchdown roll.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
most
just
of
like
for those kind of runs, you see they hit a hole and run, but no, he was like banging on guys, like knocking like knocking into them, and then he started his sprint. Like it was crazy to watch.
Yeah.
It wasn't even offensive
That is one of the
line
best
run.
plays I've seen.
That
And
was
it
like a
literally,
Wisconsin
no,
Jonathan
you
his
bet
Taylor.
contact balance is crazy.
that made that to win MVP. As soon as I saw that play, I
Yeah.
went on to FanDuel and I bet plus 1,500.
After that play, his odds dropped so much.
Yeah.
Like
What'd
I'm-
you get him
like,
at?
At least plus 1,500. I got it at plus
Yeah, that's
2,000.
what I got it at. I got 1,500. I saw it was 750 after the game yesterday, but that's just great
That's
value.
crazy.
I'm
Wow.
rooting for him.
Yeah.
Either way. Hopefully they
I could already
reward him.
cash out for $5 more than I paid.
Damn.
Yeah, I think me too.
That's
Something like that.
profit.
That's just great
Yeah.
value right
Yeah.
there.
Easy money.
I was thinking about it. They don't like
All
giving
right.
it to non-quarterback. Maybe just take it.
They don't. This is true. Okay, so let's move on to a new segment that we are calling Matt's Mountain. Matt, are you ready to share your mountain?
Yes, I am so ready. Oh, here we go.
Is that showing up for everyone?
Yep.
Awesome.
Shout
No,
out
that was
Gemini.
sick.
I mean, I made this from scratch. All right. Welcome to my mountain. We're doing top 6 teams here. Not in how they currently are, because we'll go over that when we do our top 10s, but top 6 who I think have the best odds to win the Super Bowl. These are based so much on vibes and how I think teams are doing and where I think the trends are going to end up. I haven't looked at any of the sort of actual betting statistics for where they're supposed to be, so we'll see how these compare. Hit it. Bottom row. There we go. Lions, Bucks, Bills in that order. I got Lions at 6, Bucks at 5, Bills at 4, but they're all in the sort of bottom row. I think these teams sort of all project out really well when we go to it. I know some of them had a bad weeks this week. Sometimes though, you got to have some rough losses during the year to sort of shape you up for playoff shape. And when it comes out to the playoffs, I just trust Josh Allen and what he can do. And that with that team, I mean, I think James Cook will have all of his stuff going by the time we actually hit the playoffs, and they'll get some of the kinks worked out. Their defense, not last week, but throughout the course of the season, have shown some like burst, and some players have stepped up. So we'll see how those go throughout the course of the year. For the Bucks, I think as injuries sort of start to dwindle down, we see some of the pickup come back up. Patriots look really good right now, but I don't really know how I feel about them long term. As for the Lions, I don't really think beating us this week was that big of a deal, but I do like their team as a whole. So I like how they go out into the playoffs. And especially after we beat them last year, I'm sure they have a bad taste in their mouth. Row 2.
Row 2.
Ready for it. Rams and Eagles. All right. Both these teams have some of the best offensive weapons that you can get, which is just insane. And their defenses have played well as of late, sort of picking up some slack. A lot of fumbles tonight for the Eagles. So that sort of trends well for what they can do in a grinder. But Rams, too. I mean, if you got Sean McVay and you got Matt Stafford, I always like your odds, especially if you have some of the best wide receivers in the league with Puka and Devontae Adams. And Eagles just have guys up and down the board. Top row,
You saw it coming.
Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, what else are you going to do? Year in and year out, I feel like it's just hard to discount them when it comes to the postseason. I feel like they kind of have to do something to make me feel like they're not the favorite. And even though they started off slow, now that they have their whole team back, sort of feel pretty good about them. After Rashid Rice is back, that offense looks drastically different. Travis Kelce's having one of the better years he has in the last couple. Really just finds the soft spots in the zone. And now that they have 4 really good other receiving weapons at wide out, Juju, then you have Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. I feel like they all do something different, and Travis Kelce just gets to find the sweet spot. And then Spags defense, man, that thing, they just make it rough on everybody else that they're going up against. I have faith with them when it comes to the playoffs, and some of these teams haven't been doing great right in the moment, but I have faith how they all project out. So that's the mountain.
I like they went with some.
I mean, it's pretty chalk.
Well,
Go ahead,
Drew
Pat.
Yeah, I
just
was gonna say,
cashed
I,
out
li- I
and
like
Pat
they
just
went with
glitched, so I think they like my takes.
some battle tested teams. People are going to be wondering, oh, like, why aren't the Colts or Patriots up here? But, come playoff time, that experience matters. You don't see teams burst out on the scene and win it all that often. So I like how you went with how you valued playoff experience in this one.
Yeah, a lot of the way I see it is you're going to be testing out with those teams some new quarterbacks and some new coaches in the spotlight. And honestly, I don't love how that projects out. I mean, Vrabel's not a new coach in the playoffs, but he hasn't had that top end success in the playoffs. And then when you look at the Colts with Shane Steichen, he hasn't been there as a head coach himself. And kind of feel similar with the Broncos, where you got to go trot out Bo Nix in the playoffs. I mean, the 3 teams we're talking about is a second-year quarterback, and then you have Daniel Jones, who we've seen him play terrible when it comes time for the postseason, and then you also have Bo Nix, who hasn't proved anything, so gets him off the list.
Yeah, I mean, it's very chalk, like basic, but like that's what the playoffs have been for years now. Since the Chiefs started their run, like they have to be on top because otherwise, like you can't not pick them till they start missing the Super Bowl. Like outside
Yeah.
of the one Bengals-Rams year, it's been pretty basic. Like
Yep.
Eagles, Chiefs, Niners, like that's been like it. So I would love to see some parity this year, but it's probably not going to happen. So
Yeah, beat the man.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
gotta
That's right.
change it up.
Drew, now that you are back, do you have any final statements about Matt's Mountain?
Yeah, I obviously don't know what you guys covered, but I'm honestly okay with the list. I feel like the difference, like you said, between top tens and the mountain we got here, the beautiful mountain, is that we need teams who have proven they can win, quarterbacks that are experienced, who have shown that they can find success in the playoffs. All these teams have that, and I'm here for it. I will say I'm a little worried about the bottom row because the Bills, Bucks, and the Lions have all had their trials and tribulations recently. But
There's not
honestly,
like
like,
any other quarterbacks who have had success though. Like outside of those top 3.
oh, this year,
Just in general, like
Super Bowl.
Well, the bottom row's
recently?
they've all made like semi-deep runs.
and like
Yeah, no,
they
but
playoff
I'd say
experience.
all won
Like,
at
I'd say
least a game or
Allen
two,
has
and
had
they've been there
playoff
for
success. Baker
a few years
has
now.
had
You know,
recent playoff success. Because, like, for some of these teams, winning a Super Bowl is not, it's a goal, but it's not like what's expected, you know?
well,
Josh Allen, it is expected, but like Baker, you're just hoping he can go out there and win some games, keep you competitive.
yeah.
At this
But
point,
like,
I think
there's
you're
nobody
hoping
else
Baker
you
can
can.
go win you a Super Bowl.
You're hoping, but are you expecting it?
Yes, you should be.
Yeah, I mean, if
I
you're
don't know,
talking about him
but
in MVP conversation this year, the way he's won some games, you think he can go out and do it in the biggest moments?
yeah, I hope he can. I'm not expecting it, but I'm rooting for it. But yeah, I think assuming all these teams get in the playoffs, they all have a good chance. And the Chiefs probably, like you said, until they show us otherwise, they might be the favorite.
All right.
Good
Very
list.
cool. That is Matt's Mountain. Thank you very much, Matt, for putting that together.
Oh, for sure.
The next segment is going to be Evan's MVP ladder. I, unlike Matt, did not have time to put together a graphic, but that's okay because I
Lack
think
of preparation.
Lazy.
the list itself.
you
This
is
just
good
goes
for
to
it.
show.
Pod.
This just goes to
Isn't
show
this
who
your
tries
company?
for this.
All right. Number 1, Matthew Stafford. He should be the MVP favorite right now. Honestly, I haven't seen any Rams games recently, but from looking at the stat sheet and the highlights, he is lighting up every team he plays against. Division opponent doesn't matter. That game against the Jaguars I did watch, and they put up 35 on them, like no problem. I don't think they even had Puka Nacua in that game. He's just playing out of his mind, even at his age. Like, I know he has a lot of weapons, but you can't really take that out of like, you can't say that's the reason why he's playing so well.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to put Joe Flacco in the MVP conversation?
Yeah.
No.
I agree with you completely. People aren't talking about it enough to. This is
Number 2, Jonathan Taylor. I know Drew and I just put those bets in, but after watching that game, like, how can you not? Definitely carried the Colts in that game. They would not have been anywhere close without him. That's really all I have to say about it. Like, he could get pretty close to breaking the rushing record. I don't have his total number up, but he's probably like on pace or relatively close. Unrelated, but I think JSN is also on pace to beat the receiving record, but that's beside the point. Number 3, Drake May. I know you guys are kind of Patriots haters, but you got to take into account what he's been able to do. I know they haven't been tested that much, but the games they have been tested and they've gotten it done. They beat
Don't put words
the
in my
Bills.
mouth. You haven't seen my top 10.
Yeah, I don't hate the Patriots.
They beat the Bills on primetime. They just beat the Buccaneers. Their only 2 losses, I think, were the Raiders and the Steelers, like pretty early on in the season. I think weeks 1 and 2, and they've won 8 since. Pretty sure that's what happened. Like, that's pretty impressive. You got to give props to Vrabel too, the way he's been able to put that together. But yeah, Drake May, number 3. Number 4, Sam Darnold. Obviously, he has some good weapons. The way they put that offense together is really appealing to his strengths, but I think he's been just playing really well. I was off my phone for a few minutes, and I looked back. The game had just started. It's like 21-0. I know, like, part of that was because of the defense. Still, Sam Darnold and that Seahawks team in general is really impressive. So he's number 4. A lot of the times, the MVP goes to the quarterback of the best team. I think you have to take that into consideration. So, number 4, Sam Darnold. Number 5, Pat Mahomes. He's still playing a little Mahomes. He's still that guy. But I think the Chiefs as a whole need to play a little bit better for him to get into the top 3. I think he's still up there in odds, like top 2. But in terms of my personal list on who I think is the most valuable player, he's not in the top 3. And then number 6, I have Josh Allen. I know he played so bad in that Dolphins game, but before then he was playing great. Versus the Chiefs, like, he played out of his mind.
Would help if I had a graphic.
I think that's
to
a
go
pretty
off
solid
of.
list.
Yeah, I'm here for it. A lot of it depends on like how the teams finish in the rankings, but I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. I
Can you
mean,
say the
as
list
of now,
again?
the top 3s, you couldn't hear?
Gotta pay
No, I
attention,
heard.
man.
I heard. I just need to
Okay.
hear it all again. Just quick.
Stafford, Taylor, May, Darnold, Mahomes, Allen.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Like that, man.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like it's
Matt,
similar to what I
the
just said. It's
NFL
like
analyst
pretty
right there.
safe, but it's pretty safe.
Yeah, I do
You
want to
know?
check I want to check the current odds. This has Drake
Yeah.
May plus 300 as the favorite, with Matthew Stafford as co-favorite, Jonathan Taylor plus 500, then Mahomes plus 600, Allen plus 7, and then Darnold plus 8. So that's
I think that makes sense.
obviously not in
Yeah.
the same order. You got the same guys.
Yeah. I mean, it is like it's not based on opinion, like it's based off stats and how well they're actually playing.
Yeah, who's
so
playing
Right.
best on
Yeah.
what
it's
teams?
gonna be kind of chalky.
I
So
just hope they actually consider Taylor, because I feel like recently they've just been like, okay, let's put a quarterback MVP and then we'll make the breakout offensive player OPO.
All right. Well, that concludes this week's edition of Evan's MVP ladder. You guys know what time it is. It is top 10 time. I want to see Drew. Let's have you start us off.
Yes, sir. I'm happy to. Let's get that
Let me-
graphic up.
Let me
I'm starting
get
off
the
with
graphic up.
number 1, Seahawks 7-2. They just beat the Cardinals dominantly, 44-22. Offense is clicking. Defense easily top 3 in the league. Darnold MVP candidate. JSN on pace to break the receiving record. Enough said. Rams close number 2, also 7-2. Just crushed the 49ers 42-26. I love that offense. Matthew Stafford is my co-MVP favorite right now. He's spreading the ball out between Nakua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, good running back committee. Love what I'm seeing. And then I got the Colts 8-2, great record. They won a gritty game over in Berlin, which anything can happen in Berlin. We know that. Falcons not a great team, but
that was the first
they're
game in Berlin, actually.
anything can happen in Berlin. I've been saying it for years.
WW2, ring a bell, Evan.
Good point. Good point.
I don't want to make comments here, but we know what happens.
Did you guys hear them mention that on the broadcast?
Yeah, that was crazy.
We're bridging the gap out here. Football divides.
Drew,
Brings
go
us
That
ahead.
was
all
oddly placed. Yeah, Falcons not a great team, but a gritty team. If Jonathan Taylor can get the run going, I really like the Colts. They're number 3 right now. Now, speed up Eagles. We obviously haven't seen them play because they're playing the Packers right now. But 6-2, they're my 4th team. Pats 8-2, just beat the Bucks in a thrilling game, 28-23. Drake May looking like the best of the second-year quarterbacks. Travion Henderson finally had a breakout. Like what I'm seeing, Vrabel's coaching them up. Broncos 8-2. Wasn't very thrilled with the Raiders' victory. They didn't look great there, but 8-2 team, I gotta give them their flowers, and they have a good chance of winning that division against the Chiefs. Then I got Chargers 7-3, mainly just because they beat the Steelers so handedly, 25-10. I thought that was pretty good. I wasn't expecting that from them after the Joe Alt injury. Their O-line is horrendous, but Jim Harbaugh is doing well. They have so many weapons in the receiving room. Marion Hampton's going to come back in the next few weeks, so I'm going to put them at 7 for now. Then Lions just had a bounce-back win against the Commanders. Have them at 8. I think they're a great team. They just need to find themselves. Then I got Bills. Bills at 9, tough loss to the Dolphins. But I think that's a fluke. I'm just going to rule that off as a fluke. I think the Bills are still one of my top Super Bowl contenders. Josh Allen will bounce back. We know what to expect from them. And I just can't leave them off of this list. And then, like
Like the Bills, the Chiefs, 4 losses, but they're phenomenal. Probably the Super Bowl favorites, like Matt talked about in his mountain. Matt's wonderful mountain. But they had a bye week, but I'm excited to see what they're looking like coming up this week.
I was really gonna make fun of you for how long you were talking about your list, but then you gave me a lovely shout out at the end, so I'll keep it to myself, I guess.
I got a lot to say. What can I say?
I really disagree
Apparently a
with the
lot.
Chargers at 7.
Seems a little high.
How are you gonna have them at 7 because they had a good win over the Steelers, but have the Colts at 3 after a bad loss to the Steelers?
That's phenomenal.
Like, should-
I'm not
Checkmate.
So no, Ev, what it comes down to is Drew does the standings based on just going to the standing and looking at the loss column, and he just organizes it by that. He doesn't shuffles it around a little bit to look as if he did some homework and stuff. But he literally goes to the NFL standings, then he moves the Chiefs up with the Bears. Doesn't want to give them credit, and that's just about it for his list. If you look at the standings on NFL.com, it goes Broncos, Colts, Patriots, Rams, Eagles, Seahawks, Chargers, Bills. Let me know when I missed a team on Drew's list, by the way.
But that's just not
Bears, substitute, and then Lions and Bucks.
The rankings of the list matter so much, and you're just not addressing that. If I had the Broncos at 1, you could fucking shoot.
No, but it's just it's hypothetical strength of schedule or it's conference record, and you don't care about that. But you do go straight down the list.
Matt,
with all the same teams.
I'm ranking teams off of right now. I'm mainly focusing on how they looked last week, how they've looked in prior weeks. I'm not looking ahead for these rankings.
So then why, like what Evan said, then why are you ranking the Colts way higher than the Chargers?
Because the Colts have looked better than the Chargers.
But if you look at...
I'm down.
Yeah, but you said you had the Chargers that high because of a good win over the Steelers.
Yeah, okay, so the Chargers would be off my list if not for that win. The injuries, extremely scary to me. Their O-line, horrendous. Like, they're all bad. But they found a way to win, and you guys couldn't get anything going. They still scored 25 points against you. The running game with Vidal looked pretty good. So, yeah, until they show me otherwise, they're probably going to stay on the list. But I'm not going to put them higher because those injuries scare me. I don't think they're higher quality than any of the teams above them. Realistically, I'm expecting the Lions, Bills, and Chiefs to all jump them. But they haven't been playing well the last few weeks. So as of right now, Chargers are above them. I'm going off of past performance. Yes, they are kind of in order of losses besides the Chiefs, but they're not in order.
Kinda.
They're not in order of rankings because I have the Seahawks first, not the Broncos, shit like that, you know? I think it's a good list. I don't like having the Chargers on there. I despise the Chargers, but
they had the record, so you had to include them.
Yeah, they had the record, so they had to be in the top.
Yeah, I saw the 7-3 record, and I had to.
Couldn't leave them off the list.
Yeah, I mean that's my only issue I have with it is the Chargers, and I think the Colts are too high as well. But I'd probably switch the Patriots and Colts. But
as of right now, the Colts, phenomenal. And a tough win in Berlin. I'll say it again.
Tough win. Anything can happen there.
Do you know what's happening in Berlin?
Anything can happen.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Tear down this wall.
All right, we'll move on.
This Colts win is the best
nice
thing
list, Drew. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm up. So we're gonna start like Drew, Seahawks, Rams, 1 and 2.
So you just rankings, huh?
Let me finish. Good Lord. Then we have the Pats at 3. Drake May. I think odds-wise, he is the favorite for the MVP. I don't think he'll win it, but I think the way he's playing is phenomenal. His meshing with Mike Vrabel is impressive. And their defense is serviceable for sure. I have the Eagles at 4. We'll see what happens tonight, but I think it's hard to pick against Super Bowl champs. You know, it's hard. I don't like thinking about last year too much, but they haven't looked much worse. Their running game is a little worse, but besides that, I like him enough to have him in the top 5 for sure. Next, I have the Broncos. I think they do need to be tested a little bit more, but I like that they're winning games, even though obviously their game against the Raiders was close, and it was a division game though, and they still won. So I have them at 5. Then I have the Lions at 6. Dan Campbell started calling the plays. I think that's important because they looked way better versus Washington than they did versus Minnesota last week.
I think our defense helped out with that.
Well, yeah, but anyways, then I have the
Sorry.
Bills. Tough loss there, but also a division game. Don't want to think about it too much. I want to see what they do next week before I drop them too much. Then the Chiefs. We'll see. They're on bye, so no changing there. So then I have the Colts at 9. I feel like this may be a little controversial, looking at everybody else's rankings, but we'll see about that. And then I have the Bucks at 10. Injury prone for sure, but hopefully they can get healthy and we can see what they can do.
How the heck are the Bills at 7?
They just beat the Chiefs.
They just beat the Chiefs. They
Oh,
just
yeah,
got
this
their
week?
ass whooped by
I
the Dolphins.
think I missed
I
that.
think
That
that's a
didn't
reasonable
just
take.
happen. At 7?
Yeah, I
think
mean
they
they're
They have
Well,
the
the
former
Bills have-
MVP on their team.
yeah
There's
they're a
teams with
flawed
two
team,
losses.
yes,
The
but
Bills
they've
are
got
not.
But you have the Colts at 9.
The Colts
Yeah.
at 9 is
Yeah.
ferocious.
And then like the Bucks at 10 even, like why aren't the Colts and why, like, first of all, the Colts, why are the Colts not higher
Yeah.
than them? That doesn't
You
make
got
any sense to me.
that.
Before we even talk about the Bucks.
Who have the Colts beaten?
The Falcons in Berlin. Let's pull up this.
Anything can happen in Berlin.
They beat they beat the Broncos.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor blitzkrieg.
They beat the
That's the one.
Chargers by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Chargers are 7th best team in the league.
I mean,
They had a really good
yeah.
loss to the
Well,
Rams.
They
hypothetically.
whooped the Titans.
That
They
is,
beat the
I
Cardinals.
think it's
That's
a pretty good loss.
feisty team.
Yeah,
beat
Cardinals
the
keep
Titans
every game
twice.
close.
Titans have Cam Ward.
I'm looking at the last 2 weeks. I'm looking at a Steelers loss that is even more confusing now after seeing what happened versus the Chargers. And I'm looking at what should have been a loss in Berlin versus the Falcons.
But it's not
Like,
should have been a loss. Should have been, if we go by should have beens, you can change the whole record and just make
Yeah.
everything up, and my Commanders would be
By
10
saying
and 0
that,
right
I
now.
mean they didn't
Let's
look
not
good.
get crazy.
They didn't look like
mean,
a top
should've.
5 team.
You-
Sure, they
okay.
won.
But I
I
think
feel
when you
like
talk
you're
about
doing-
playing these games overseas, it's really hard to go put the onus on the team should look a lot better than they did. They, at the end of the day, they won. Their MVP candidate running back put up 280 plus yards and 3 touchdowns, and they ended up getting it done. We talk about it all season long, how we can't put all this weight on teams going to play overseas, to the point where we try to avoid betting on them because we
Yeah.
don't have faith that they're going to come out there firing on all cylinders, because it's a lot to go play globally. I mean, Berlin, how far of a flight is that? It takes 6 hours to get over to London. How long does it take to get to Berlin?
Probably
I mean,
7.
probably like an extra hour.
6, 7.
7
6 or
hours and 21 minutes.
8 hours and 5 from New York.
That
Like
must have
we're
changed,
saying
but-
all this, like the teams who are supposed to win overseas aren't winning.
But
Well, the Colts
yeah,
did
they
win.
are winning, and this team won. Like, so I don't see how you're knocking them for winning. Their teams going overseas are still winning, but their games are looking really ugly. They're definitely not playing as good as they play in the United States. It's just, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the overseas games. I think if you want to do stuff like that, it should all be done during the preseason or whatever. I think it's way too much to make teams do it during the season and actually have it count towards their records. Or if you wanted to, you could do exhibition matches like they do with soccer in the US, but that's a whole nother story. it definitely leads to lower quality football from these teams week in and week out. This is the first game that we had that was actually kind of good football, though, to
I like the
watch,
international
entertaining.
game. I like the concept, but I think they need to like change how they go about it. Like, why can't these games in like London or Berlin be played at night there, so they're on a reasonable time here?
'Cause
Also, teams should
Well,
won't
because
play
then it
anything
blends in
special.
to the rest of the slate.
yeah.
Yeah, they'd play at
Yeah,
night
but
over there, and you'd get it like a 2 o'clock game.
Yeah, they
it is
want
what
like a
it is. It's better
standalone.
than me waking up at 9:30.
No, but that's
Yeah,
the
no,
whole
I
point is they
understand.
want
Or
you
they could
waking
go
up at
play at 4
9:30.
a.m. Yeah, they should go play at 4 a.m. German time, and then we could get a night game. How does that work for you, Drew?
No,
I'll
that
put
would
in a
be
good. I'll put in a good word, and we'll see.
Yeah, let's
We'll
go talk
see.
to
all the
Goodell.
Germans
We'll see
that
what
Yeah.
they
get
get
upset.
back to us
We'll
with.
tell Nova to go give him a shout.
I just think these
All right.
international games are going to be more and more every year, so something needs to happen.
Is that all of the beef with my list right now?
Well, your list sucks.
Yeah, I don't like your list at all.
Like,
Okay.
Colts is atrocious, but I
I
guess
can't wait
you
to
think
do my victory lap next week. I'm excited.
you think beating the Falcons in the tough Berlin environment is a bad win, but that's okay.
I do. Anyways,
No, it's okay.
let's move
I feel
on.
like you're doing a lot of comparison, like this team beat that team, but
Wait, what? So for the Bucks, then why don't you think the Bucks have any less right to be higher than the Bills? The Bucks beat the Seahawks, who's your number one team.
Yeah, like 10
Yeah.
weeks ago.
What do you?
the thing about this
What?
season is like there's not a clear dominant team. Like there's going to be a lot of like, oh, the Bucks beat the Seahawks, but the Seahawks beat this team. Like you can't just go off
Yeah.
head-to-head matchups. There's going to be a lot of competitive teams this year. We've already seen it. The NFC is infinitely better this year. AFC competitive as always. We haven't seen this in a long time, so it makes it a lot harder.
So then the Bucks get punished for a close loss to the Patriots that you have a number 3.
I
But
had the I had the
the
Bucks at 10
Bills.
already.
No, I know, but I'm saying that the Bills get blown out by the Dolphins and stay at number 7.
And they
and
dropped from, I think I had them at 4, from 4 to 7.
okay.
I think that's still serviceable. Last week you guys had them, a few of you had them at 1, the Bills.
Well, we changed our criteria for how we were grading these
Yeah,
lists, so
and we dropped them quite far.
Yeah.
based on
I'm
criteria
saying
shifts.
for the teams that lost, like how far are we dropping them? I guess it depends on the loss, but
Well, if you're
That
talking
was a
about the
bad one.
Bills losing by, what was that, 17 to the Dolphins, I think that drops them quite a lot.
yes,
After
but
they're
they
already
beat
they're
the,
6
they
and
beat the
3.
Super Bowl champs or the Super Bowl favorites the week before. That's why I only dropped them 3 spots. Like teams are gonna have bad losses.
Yeah,
It's a very
I
bad
don't know.
loss.
I think.
And you know what? I'll say this too. Dolphins have been like sneaky competitive in a lot of their games. It's a weird divisional game. I also dropped them a good bit, but I don't know. I don't think it's like it's not nothing, but it's not like the sky has fallen in Buffalo either. I don't think, you know.
Dropping from
no,
1
I'm
to
not
9
worried about them long
seems
term.
a lot.
Yeah, I'm not worried about them long term,
Let's-
but they have to.
Let's move on to Matt's list.
All right, my
Holy.
turn. Number 1, I got the Pats. If we just look at how sort of things are going right now and not really outlook for the remainder of the season, they just had a really good win over the Bucks. They already beat the Bills this season, stacking up some good ones, and they're blowing out some bad teams, which is what you're supposed to do. Number 2, I got the Rams. They're just firing on all cylinders on offense, and that defense looks really good. Their defensive line is really shaped up and makes everything behind them sort of fall into line. As a Commanders fan, it kind of sucks that they just take our washed up players and coach them well and make them play great. So Emmanuel Forbes with another interception this week kind of stings when we drafted his own corner and played him at man. Whatever. That's sorry, personal problems. Colts at 3. Not the best win in the world ever, but also at the same time, I feel like when you go overseas and get the job done, you get the job done. And when you have Jonathan Taylor leading the offense with another outstanding performance, going back to what they're really good at and getting it done on a Falcons defense that I feel like has given teams fits at times this year. Um, I don't know. I think it's kind of a good win still, even though we're overseas. Then we have the Seahawks at number 4. They're really turning things around. They're beating up on bad teams right now. Even though the points look awesome, it's not the same as some of these other teams getting quality, or more quality wins, in my opinion. 5 out of the Chiefs. Before they played the Bills, everything is trending really high up. I had them higher on my list. After the loss to the Bills, I dropped them down a little bit. But if you only lose by one score, and Patrick Mahomes has one of the worst games that he's played in the last like 4 years, I honestly feel pretty good about how you guys are doing if that loss is to the Buffalo Bills, especially at the time when they were playing, when they always have a back and forth matchup that goes really intensely. So I don't know. I still have a lot of hope in how they're looking and how they're playing this year. Next, I have the Eagles. I have a lot of qualms with their offense. Their defense, I mean, they have a bunch of guys to get the job done, but their offense is just fits and spurts. And I know as we're watching tonight, it's just not really clicking, no score yet in the second half. And at halftime. Um, Kind of rough. And it's not like, I don't know, they're doing anything different. They keep calling the same plays and they keep not working and they keep doing it again the next week. I thought Jalen Hurts was getting his crap together, but that's clearly not the case. This guy's, I think, a garbage quarterback. Again, I might be biased. Next out of the Bucks, I think they have been playing well this season. I think even this week with the loss to the Patriots, I think it's kind of a good loss. Played them tight, kept it within a score. Um, I think as the season continues to go on and they continue to get healthy, I think they're going to end up looking really good. Next, Lions. I can't give teams that many points for dominating us, because our defense is atrocious. But at the same time, I do like what the Lions have going on. And as the season goes on, I can see them climbing the list pretty quick, stacking up some wins. Next, I have the Broncos. Gosh, they look terrible for an 8-2 team, but they're 8-2, so I can't keep them completely off the list. But that was a rough watch on Thursday night. And then last but not least, I have the Chargers. I feel like they're playing pretty solid for having a banged up O line, and just letting the pressure keep continuing to get back there. But they're doing their job.
I think it's like an okay list. I'm confused on the Chiefs at 5, and
I agree. You got
there being no
spot.
Bills on the list too. Do you want to explain?
You're raising a good point.
I would love to explain. I think the Chiefs team I'm looking at is from the last sort of 5 weeks, including their bye. And honestly, even
When
the
they
game
play the
before
Bills?
where they played the Jags. Yeah, so I mean, if you look at sort of the Chiefs this season, they started off with a super banged up roster, went and lost down in Brazil to the Chargers by 6 points, lost to the Eagles by 3, beat the Giants, beat the Ravens by 17, lost to the Jags, finally started getting healthy right after that Jags game, right around then, get Rashid Rice back. Right after that, they go out and beat the Lions by 13, go and sweep. I mean, they had the Raiders taking knees at 2 minutes and 57 seconds left, and they were taking knees, kneeling the game out. Then whooped up on the Commanders. Mahomes plays his worst game literally of the last 4 years, and they end up only losing by one score to the Bills. I think that's honestly, if I was a Chiefs fan, I'd be pretty happy with that for how that shapes up for how we're doing in general. Um, and yeah, honestly, I think the way that they've been looking recently, even with a fluke of a game where Mahomes plays like garbage, uh, I
So,
see it honestly
so
as
they're in the last 5 games. They're 3-2, with 2 of those wins being against bad teams. So they have 1 good win and 2 good losses.
the way I see it
I don't
is
mind
they
them
have
at
a
5. I'm
banged
just
up
confused
one
on
score
no
loss
Chiefs.
and no Bills.
Or yeah, no Bills on there. I'm just confused.
Well, with the Bills, I already had them after changing how the grading works for the system. If going into the week, I would have had them right in the middle of the pack, right at that 5-6 spot, and then you go out and lose by 17 to the Dolphins. Yeah, where am I going to put you on the list?
Apparently
You
not
know,
on
like it, bada bing. That's exactly what I'm saying.
it.
So, if say you had this list 2 weeks ago after the Bills beat the Chiefs, would you have still had the Chiefs ahead of them?
I probably honestly would have had the Chiefs like a spot behind them, right in the 4 to 6 range. I would have had both the teams, and then the Chiefs had a bye week, so then they would have stayed in the same 4 to 6 range. And the Bills went out there and looked atrocious, so then you get cut off the list. If you're in the middle of the pack on the list and you play absolutely like garbage the next week, and the teams below you are all playing pretty solid, I mean, you're going to be the one to get cut. It's not like I had them at my top 3 or top 2 if we're based on how they looked. Because they only ended up beating the Chiefs by 1 touchdown, and Mahomes played like garbage.
Okay.
Like,
Honestly, I can't give you shit for leaving the Bills off your list. I had them at 9. Like, I thought about it. I more so think the Chiefs are a little high 5, but I respect the logic because they are a different team. They were missing Xavier Worthy and Rishi Rice when they got those losses, barring the Bills.
Yeah, but at some point we're in November now, and they're almost 500 ball club. Like
Yeah.
you
They
are
gotta
what your
start
record
winning.
says you are, and that's not a top 5 record in my mind. I know they're the Chiefs and they've done it before,
They're third
but
in their division.
Injuries
That's
and
a problem.
suspensions are part of the game. Like, they're gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
so how
but
come
also,
they get how
but
come
if
they
you
get
look at,
rewarded for that, but teams that
I
also
didn't
have
say I
those issues aren't
rewarded them
getting?
for that.
Well, that
I'm
was one of
saying
your reasons. They didn't have their
I'm
full rosters.
no, my reason wasn't that they didn't have their full roster. My reason is now they do have a full roster and they look like a different team with the full roster.
They just
If
lost their
you,
last game.
I Mahomes played like garbage, and they lost by 1 score to somebody who's supposed to be an elite team, and that you have at 7 in your list. If the Bills were really that great of a team and Mahomes played that bad, they would have blown him out of the water.
Why are we praising Mahomes for having a bad game?
I'm not praising
Yeah.
Mahomes for having a bad game. I'm saying if you're the Chiefs and you got away as a team with your best player playing like dog shit, honestly, I'm pretty happy with where you are as a collective group. Your defense must have stepped up, holding the Bills to 28 while Mahomes is throwing an interception and not moving the ball is honestly, there are worse things in the world that could have happened.
watching
I
that
mean, they
game,
could
it
have put
felt
up
like
because
let up
Buffalo was in.
38.
Watching that game, it felt like Buffalo was in control of it for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were
Hey,
not
the
gonna
Chiefs
lose
were
that
going
game.
for it on 4th and 17 with 10 minutes to go. Like, that's how. It was desperation time for them. Like, it wasn't like, oh, Bills score late
Also,
to eke out a close win.
yeah.
So I think the score is a
You're
little bit
saying
deceiving
that,
in that way.
100%. But you're saying, oh, it's impressive that the Chiefs only lost by one
I'm saying
score to this
as a
Bills team.
collective that as the Chiefs, I'm not praising Mahomes for playing like garbage.
Yeah.
I'm saying that if it's going to be a throwaway game where he plays, not a throwaway, but if Mahomes is going to play like crap, there are worse outcomes that could have happened.
Why are you dropping the Bills so much for losing to a not top 10 team? But when the Chiefs lose to a not top 10 team, they're
Because at the time that I made the list, the Bills were in the top 10. I had the Bills. I just told you I had the Bills and Chiefs both probably in that 4 to 6 spot. The Chiefs then lost to a team that's in the 4 to 6 spot. How far do you want to drop? We can't retroactively grade the loss now that the criteria is shifting. I have to grade what happened. The Chiefs didn't play last week and they lost to a middle of the top 10 team. Yeah, I mean, how far do you want them to drop? You want them to drop out of the list? I get that they're 5-4 right now, but also at the same time, like I'm seeing the football that they've been playing in the last couple weeks, and it doesn't look like a team that's 5-4.
Mm.
all
I
right.
feel like you're digging a hole.
And the Bills just went and lost to a terrible team.
Now here's a guy who loves Mahomes.
So, do you still think the Bills
I
are a
don't know,
great team?
Matt.
I just want to.
I think the Bills are a top 10 team, Matt.
I think I have the Bills at like 11 right now. I think I have the Bills at like 11.
Okay,
Alright.
so you think it was
Alright,
like
let's
a
move
fluke
on to
loss
Pat's
against
list.
Miami? You're not that worried about it?
I don't think I'd be drastically worried about it for the rest of the season, but also I don't think it's enough to keep them in the top 10. I think it's a damaging
Okay.
enough loss.
Okay. Also, you said Jalen Hurts wasn't a good QB, and that's kind of crazy. He's having a great year.
Well, I don't like Jalen
I don't
Hurts
think that
at
is
all.
crazy, actually.
I just
Yeah, I know.
really
I
don't
think
like him. I could.
It's not crazy. He's not in my top 10 QBs.
You can dislike him, but he's playing well.
Did you, okay. I think he's had like 2
I'm
good
just-
games this year
I disagree. I think he's having
where
a
he like
sneaky
looked
good
like
year.
a good passer.
Looking
Sneaky good
ahead
year.
on the schedule, Chiefs Broncos this week. I think that will be very telling. Will the Chiefs
Yeah.
drop out of your top 10 with the loss to the Broncos?
Yeah, because I think the
They might drop
Broncos are not a
6.
good team.
Good
I don't think the Broncos are
road
that
loss
Not a
in
good
division.
team.
Well, I'm at 9. Good road loss in division. Yeah. They move up to 4 actually.
Yeah,
Beyond.
right.
You're still.
Love what I saw.
Gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
This is
Let's hear
something.
it, Pat.
All right. Number 1, I've got the LA Rams. Stafford's been there for a little while now. He's still doing it. Puka and Adams, they got plenty of weapons on offense, experienced roster, experienced coach. I think they're playing as good as anyone in the league right now. 2, I'm going Colts. I was really impressed by Jonathan Taylor yesterday. Marching through Berlin like the Red Army. So I've got them at 2. They've been playing good ball all year. All right, that took a little while for you guys to hear that one, I guess. Number 3, I've got the Patriots.
A little bit of delay.
Again, impressive win against the Bucks. They've beaten all the teams they've played, and they had kind of a shaky start to the year, but since then they've been playing good ball. Drake May's looking good. Vrabel's fitting right in, so that's promising for them. Then I've got the Eagles at 4. They're just like a solid team, top to bottom. I think defending champs. They had a rough 5 days there where they dropped 2 games, but I still think they're probably the team to beat in the NFC. You want to beat the man, you got to beat the man, and they're the defending champs. So I've got them up there still. Number 5, I've got the Seahawks. Big fan of Mike McDonald as coach. Darnold's looking good over there, so they've also been playing good ball, throttling teams. 6, I have the Detroit Lions. I think Campbell calling plays. I think that's really going to help him going forward. He knows what he wants this offense to look like, so I think that'll be a big shot in the arm for them. So they got a big game next week against the Eagles, so that'll be pretty telling. Then after that, I've got the Chiefs, and I don't know. I feel now that I'm looking at it again, I kind of feel like I have them a little bit high. Just that we just talked about for a while, so I don't know if we want to get into it again. But that 5-4 record is ugly to me in November. But yeah, I've got them there. They're a proven roster, so I'm gonna show them some due respect. Then I've got the Bills at 8. Bad loss, but I think they're probably
Can't drop them too much.
yeah, right. I think they're probably firmly in that second tier of the top of that second tier of AFC teams, if that makes sense. I don't think they're up there with Indy and the Patriots, maybe, but they're just a step below those guys. Then I've got the Broncos. They're 8-2, so I had to have them on here, but I don't know. I just haven't really been super impressed with their body of work through the whole year. They've won some ugly games, which props to them, wins a win, but I don't know. I just kind of want to see a little bit more out of them. I mean, they're playing a team that's almost 500 and they're 3.5 point underdogs at home. So that kind of tells you what people think about them. And then number 10, I've got the Bucks. Started off very hot, but they've dropped a couple of big games in the past couple weeks. I know they've been banged up, but yeah, I mean, you want to be higher in the top 10 list, and you got to beat some of these teams ahead of you, and they didn't do that. So that's what I've got.
All right. I don't really mind it. I obviously, judging by my list, I think the Colts are too high, but I've already voiced that opinion, and I think I'm on the losing side of that one. So I'll let that be. Chiefs over Bills, not a fan of, but it seemed like you might have been rethinking that as you were talking about it. So, and we've been talking about that like the whole time.
Right.
And then, yeah, I don't mind it at all. It's relatively similar to mine as well. So,
Oh, thank you, Evan.
To be honest, I feel like the difference between 5 and 7 and 8 isn't that big as you guys are making it out
that
to
is a
be.
big difference.
It's a
I don't
big
know if it's. I mean, but look at your list. Like Patrick has the Bills below him. Then if you look at the difference between mine and his, it's then just the Lions and the Eagles.
What do you mean?
The difference between Pat's list and my list is he has the Eagles and Lions above the Chiefs, and I don't. And I don't think that's that criminal.
They have 4 losses.
I kind of want to move the
Having your
Chiefs
top
down
5
a
when they have
little
4
bit.
losses is
Yeah.
kind of crazy, especially when they lost the last game they played.
And
And I know we're just getting back into this.
I'm
This
just
Chiefs
saying,
Bills
I don't
argument.
think it's that criminal. I think you guys are
I feel
overreacting.
like 7's kind of
Yeah, that's why
pushing
we
it.
have
Ev, you
a
have the
little
Colts
bit.
at 9, dude. Ev, you have the Colts at 9. So like that sounds
Yeah.
way more abysmal than anything I have on my list.
Hey, they barely beat a Falcons team that got blown out by the
Let's
Dolphins that are
let's
so.
stop with the Berlin talk.
No, but they got blown out by the Dolphins that apparently is
Evan, I feel
such
like
a bad loss.
we end this conversation and it always comes back to you bringing up Berlin. I don't know what you're doing today. It's outrageous.
We're
We've
talking
gone
about
through
the
4
Colts.
lists
The
and
Colts
you
played a game
name
in
dropped
Berlin.
Berlin 5 times.
We are talking about the Colts who played
You
their
say,
last
"Oh
game in
man, I
Berlin.
can't believe the Colts barely won." Wow,
Yeah.
international. It's a bad Falcons fan. Whatever. The Colts is the most egregious thing on this list. Out of all the lists, you having the Colts
So
at 9 is by far the
Yeah,
most
9 is
egregious.
pretty crazy.
Ev, it's also crazy. It's also
Next is
crazy when
Chiefs.
you're not knocking the Bills for losing to the Falcons by double digits.
That
They
was
lost
weeks
to the
ago.
Falcons.
Falcons aren't
Yeah.
easy to win against, in my opinion. They've lost.
So
a
how
lot
are
of
you
close
judging?
games.
How are you
I
judging
mean,
how good the Falcons are if the last game they played? Well, they just played right before this game. They went and played the Patriots and only lost by a point. So
On a
what are you
missed extra.
judging the Falcons on for if they're a good or bad team? Because apparently, if they're playing the Bills, they're really good at that point of the season. And now that they're playing the Colts and just lost by 1 to the Patriots the week before, they're a terrible team and not worth a win. So the Bills are getting more praise than the Colts are for losing to the same team?
Well, the Colts didn't lose; they won. But
No, the
I
Bills are
can see
getting
it.
more praise than the Colts for losing to the team that got beat by the.
At this point, I'm not even really taking that loss into account that much because
What?
that was like 5 weeks ago.
So then, but then you
I'm
have to
looking.
take it into account when you're talking about the Falcons as a good or bad team. Because that's one of
well, the
their
Falcons are
wins to
also
judge
3
them
and
on.
7.
What,
Out
Pat?
of
You just said now.
oh,
Well,
okay.
okay.
He's out.
Let's just. I think we've talked about the Colts enough, but Falcons are a competitive, gritty team in my opinion. I think Pat's list might be like the best, honestly, like most consensus. But I don't like the Seahawks being at 5.
At
I
least
don't know.
could probably put them over the Eagles
Yeah,
and the
obviously we
Colts.
gotta see what happens tonight. But I like the Seahawks more than the Pats. I know, Matt, you disagree, but I don't know. Right now, Seahawks Rams are the best teams in the league, in my opinion. They can go either way, but yeah, I think Pat's got a pretty good list though. I don't
Colts
have
are too high, but
right.
we'll just see how
Those,
these
you gotta
age
stop with
and
the Colts.
Dude, I honestly I
I'm
don't
done,
I
I'm done
don't
talking
get
about I'm
I
done talking
don't
about the
get how
Colts.
we're
You
getting
All
need
there.
right,
to
we
I
follow
don't.
beat this today.
Like maybe at the end
I
of the
think
season they'll be fine.
next week we will bring this back up and we'll see how we did, see what's changing.
But we're not predicting where they're gonna be next week. We're ranking them off of
I know,
right now.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying how we'll see how they change after
Yeah,
this
no,
week.
I'm not expecting the Colts to stay this high, but whatever.
Yeah.
We'll leave
All
it
right.
at that.
Let's move on.
Tough.
Well, it's inconvenient that Drew has left us because I was going to have him go next, but I think we'll just have Pat give us his dog of the week.
All right. So
Oh, yeah, give us a few
have
dog sounds, please.
How was that?
That's good. That's good. That works.
All these odds and spreads were brought from Novig. Shout out the boy.
Excellent.
As of 6 p.m. Central on Monday. So first one I was looking at was Washington against the Dolphins in Madrid, plus 2.5, plus 140.
Possibility.
All right. I'm gonna. That's right. So Washington plus 142 money line, 2.5 point dogs in Madrid against the Dolphins coming out after a big win against the Bills. That's a possible letdown spot, I think.
Matt says we can't bet on these overseas games.
I didn't say we can't. I just say we always talk about them being hard games to bet for the favorites.
This is
We
true.
talk about it every week. I'm not coming up with new
And
stuff.
there he goes. Maybe I'll hijack Pat's thing here. Right away, just off rip, what I'm seeing is Buccaneers 5.5 point underdogs versus the Bills. That one seems
like that.
intriguing.
Yeah, the
Sorry.
Bills suck. That's like Matt's 13th.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Pat.
All right.
Yeah, trying to.
I'm going to try and get through this quick. Bears plus 3.5, 151 money line. I'm not sold on that one, but I think that's decent value. Could happen. I was also eyeing up Bucks plus 229 at Buffalo. I think that's a get right game for Buffalo, though, so I'm going to stay away from that. But Bucks are a good team, and 5.5 points that's a lot. Lions slight underdogs plus 102 odds at Philly Sunday Night Football. I'm sure that will change following the results of tonight's game, but there's slight dog right now, so item included. Denver's an interesting one. Plus 182 at home against the Chiefs. You don't see that often from an 8-win team, 8-2 team, but they're dogs. So I was looking at that, but I think I'll probably not go with them for that one. And then lastly, I have Jags. So they're playing the Chargers at home. West Coast team coming out east, 1:00 game. It'll be early for the Chargers. That feels like one where, maybe the Jags jump up and bite them. So I would say, if I had to rank my top 3 that I'd feel good about, I would go with Washington against Miami, Jags against Chargers, and I hate doing lines just because they're barely underdogs, but I'll throw them in there. Honorable
I don't mind
mention:
this.
Chicago Bears. I think they might lose that game. So
Just looking at the slate, money lines might be tough to bet here, but
So, Pat, you have to pick one. It's the commies.
yeah,
all right.
I think that's like we were talking about overseas game. I think
That's not
Yeah, no.
Commanders.
I think
Says
Dolphins
Super Bowl
coming off
champs.
that big win. Dolphins coming off that big win. I think probably McDaniels, he might not have them practice at all. until they get over to London or Madrid.
They'll fly out the morning
Yeah,
of.
victory Monday, victory Tuesday, victory Wednesday, fly out Thursday. So I'll go Washington dog of the week.
I like it.
All right. I like it. All right. Drew,
My
let's
turn?
hear your lock of the week.
Everyone, welcome
Let's
to
talk about
Drew's
your
Lock of
victory
the Week.
last week first.
We're back. Yes, I will. Don't worry. This is an exclusive segment. You don't get it anywhere else. This is where you make money. Last week, the first lock of the week, obviously no one saw that. Something happened to that recording. Not my fault. But I picked Ravens spread -4, put $20 on it, doubled it 140. That's 1-0. Drew's lock of the week. Let's keep it locked down. So this week I got two locks of the week. We're going to start off going against Patrick. I got Chargers -2.5 against the Jags.
Whoa.
In the 1 o'clock slate, I like it for the Chargers. Joe Alt's injured, obviously. I had them ranked 7th in my top 10 teams. I think the Jags are falling apart. It's a broken organization. In terms of broken organizations, you got Jets, Giants, Jags. That's what I'm looking at right now. Raiders, too.
JJ's.
They're on a different.
No, the Browns are completely put together,
Browns?
apparently,
So
according to Drew. They're
Browns
doing
are
just
great.
fine.
Except their special teams. I don't know if you were listening to the stock segment, but yeah, the Jags, obviously, I see how you could look at this saying this is a must-win game. If this is a must-win game for the Jags, if they want to even have a chance at the playoffs, but I think they're just going to keep tumbling. I don't
It's
see it
gonna be-
happening.
Be 10 a.m. Charger time.
I don't care. They're going to be woken up bright and early. Jim
10
Harbaugh's
a.m. 's
probably
not
gonna
early.
not even let him sleep. Yeah, I
These
don't
are
know.
full-grown
It's
I don't-
early
I don't
when
worry
they
about
play
the
football at.
I worry about
Yeah,
the
but-
teams. I worry about
You
the
see it
play.
happen more often than you'd think.
Yeah,
Keep your eyes
but I don't
peeled.
know. I feel like -2.5 is very favorable. I can see the Chargers winning by a field goal very easily. I also think that spread's going to move. So I think if you can get it 2.5, that's great value. And then my second one, this one's a little riskier. I'm not quite as confident in it, but I got Panthers versus Falcons over 42.5. I can see this game being a shootout. I think it's obviously, I feel like the Falcons are just this is a game for their pride. And the Panthers, this is a must win for their playoff hopes and for their fan base to just keep coming back, basically. This is a great year for them. I'm kind of seeing it being a shootout. Bryce Young, Rico Dowdle. I don't think either defense is absolutely elite. I'm more confident in the Falcons defense, but I can see this being a shootout. Both teams getting well into the 20s, and I think Penix is going to target London a lot. I think Bijan's going to get involved in the offense against the Panthers. I like it at over 42.5. Those are my locks of the week. We'll be 3-0 next week, coming at you with more.
So are you putting 1 unit on your first one and half on the second one, or are you just throwing a whole $20 on both?
Well, I'm not made of money, so I'll probably lock in the Chargers one at 15 or 20, tonight or tomorrow before it moves, because I think the Chargers are going to be favored by more. Especially after this podcast comes out, I'm probably going to move the spread. And then Panthers Falcons, I'll probably just put 10 on that.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it. That was Drew Minnis's lock of the week.
Always got to have the last name.
So lastly, we'll just do a little look ahead to next week's games. We got ourselves a good week here, fellas. Just off rip, we got four games between teams above 500. 5 maybe. I say we talk about those first, and then we can get to the rest. So first we got Bucks Bills. Bills are favored 5.5. Seems low, but that also could be a get right game, like you said, Pat.
I like the Bills here. I think they need to win this. Bucks have been struggling.
I think I like the Bills too.
Me too.
17-6 straight up at home following a loss. I don't know if I mentioned that one.
No,
That
that
works
wasn't in
for
the
me.
stat sheet.
Also,
I like
didn't
Bills too.
they just got McCole Hardman today? I think I saw that. Bolster in the receiving
I
room.
don't know.
McCole Hardman? Is that breaking news from the PFS podcast? I might be making things up. But I'm pretty sure I saw
PFS
Imagine
Drew with
I'm
the
just
breaking
completely
news.
That's
wrong.
true.
I'm just completely wrong. I'll get back to you on that.
Please do. Chargers Jags. We've been talking about that one already. Chargers 2.5 favorites.
Yeah, as of an hour ago.
That was
you
good.
This
guys
one's
signed.
kind of a toss up for me.
What was it?
The Chargers Jags.
I like the
could-
Chargers.
I could
this
see the
week.
Jags winning this.
I kind of like the Jags here.
Boys, come on, support my pick.
Honestly, I would have
They were
gone
my
with the
runner-up
Chargers.
for dog of the week.
They
With
call it a
it
lock
being
of the week. I
Drew's,
could use some
with
fucking
it being
support.
Drew's lock of the week, I think I have to fade. I think I
Yeah,
have to
you
fade
guys are
that.
still gonna pick
They're-
Jags.
Matt's fade
Guys,
of
the
the week.
spread's
This
moving.
is the
Matt's fade of the week.
backup
spread
dog
is
of the week
moving.
for the Jags.
This could get ugly quick. This could be a
I
Fade of
mean,
the
the
week.
Jags looked fine last week against like a good
Did you
Texans
just say
defense.
the Jags looked fine last week?
Their offense looked
They
fine
put up
against a
29
good
points
defense.
against
They
the
gave up-
Texans defense.
Gave up 19 points
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter. They looked fine
Yeah.
until they didn't.
Yeah, you
Nobody
know about
talked
that
about
for
their
your
defense.
Giants.
You know what? The Chargers looked fucking great. Sorry, my potty mouth is out of control. It's getting
Whoa!
late here.
This guy's fired up.
The
Crank.
sunset. Getting late here.
Ate dinner
But yeah,
7 hours
Evan's
ago.
just
Alright.
throwing out. He's waffling. He's
Probably a little
waffling.
hungry.
So, Matt's fade of the week, Jaguars plus 2.5. Lock it in.
Nope.
No. My fade's the Chargers.
Seahawks
Yeah,
Rams.
yeah.
That should be a really good one.
I like the Rams.
I love the Rams in this.
Yeah,
Rams
it's
against
at
Seattle.
SoFi.
At-
This
I
will
wouldn't
be
bet.
a really good game.
It'll be a good game
I hope
for sure.
I can watch.
This one's gonna get recorded.
God, that's tough.
I don't have
At
any.
home,
It's a Rams 2.5, so pretty close.
that's just because they're at home.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, the
home team
Seahawks are
by-
4-0 on the road though.
Better be 4-1.
I don't know.
I'm really
We'll just
50
have to see.
on that. My heart says Seahawks, but my mind says Rams.
Well, the heart
Yeah.
wants what it wants, Drew.
Why the hell's their
So
heart?
that's the
doing
This
I'm
that?
could
gonna
be
go-
for the division.
And I'm going to go with
honestly.
my heart. Seattle Seahawks. Book.
Yep, time to fade. Time to fade.
If only I could have
All right.
lock of the week.
All right, Rams it is. Rams.
Call me.
Rams
yep.
it is. Lock it in.
Chiefs
God.
Broncos.
You're ruining
Chiefs,
my
Broncos.
credibility here.
Give me the Chiefs after that terrible. week
I
by the
think I like
Broncos.
Chiefs in that one.
It's in Denver.
Yeah,
If
I
that
know.
changes anything.
And
I
yet,
like
Kansas
3.5
City's
point
favored by
favorites.
3.5 points.
Covered that in my dog of the week segment.
Chiefs
I don't
have to win
know.
this game.
I mean, this could be for the division almost. If
Yeah.
the Broncos win this.
Well, this could be for a wild card spot. Realistically,
this is a
They drop
must-win
5
for the
and 5,
Broncos.
They might not even make the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad we're changing up our no vig segment this week because I wouldn't know how to go on half of these.
Yeah, this is tough.
Lions Eagles Sunday night. Eagles 1.5 point favorites as Pat
Give me the
covered on
Lions.
Pat's dog of the week.
I like the Lions. I think they're hungry.
A little score check. It's 10-7 and
Yeah,
the
10-7. I
game
just
Eagles
pulled
are
it
up.
up.
Who scored?
Offensive outburst in the fourth quarter.
Jacobs
Jacobs
and
and
Smith.
Smith. Yeah, and Devontae Smith.
God, what a bad game.
Jacobs with
Yeah. Good thing we can't watch it, right? Okay. And then Monday night. Monday night's Cowboys Raiders. So 2 weeks in a row where we don't need to watch the game. That's good.
give me the boys.
I guess.
I
I could.
don't even
Cowboys
know.
losing
Yeah.
that crazy enough?
Oh, I think the Cowboys are gonna win.
I'd probably pick Cowboys.
Yeah, me.
49ers Cardinals is a notable one.
That'll be enjoyable.
Cardinals are only
There's a lot of games that are gonna be fun
Niners
to
are
watch.
2.5 point favorites here.
Cardinals
good
need to get their
slate of
running
games.
game in order. That's really lacking there.
Did they
Well,
have,
it
did they
doesn't
have
help
that
that James
running
Conner
last week?
snapped his leg.
Yeah, and then
That was
Trey
great for
Benson
the
also
fantasy team.
has been injured forever.
Yeah, that was great for fantasy.
I mean, last week they had DeMarcado.
Yeah, he ripped a good one.
He had a
off.
55-yard run.
Yeah,
Y-
yeah. Thank
Yeah,
goodness
but
he
they're
didn't
kinda
get to the
just
end
like,
zone because
they
he
have
couldn't
like a
drop the ball.
3 running back committee. That
Hey,
needs to
committee
find a
stock up.
guy
Heard it earlier on the
that they
pod.
can at least. Yeah, but
You
I
sure
like
did?
a 2-man committee. I don't
Right.
like grabbing a guy out of the stands and making your 4th running back.
All right. Let's find one more that looks interesting.
There's Vikings. I like that.
I think that's
a better
an
looking
interesting
one.
Bears Vikings.
Bears,
Definitely.
Yeah,
Also at Vikings too. That's literally. That's
I kind of
I
like the
kinda-
Vikings there.
I kind
I like the
of.
Vikings.
I don't know. That was a tough one. Bears are really tempting 3.5 point dogs, but
Yeah. Now that
I
I'm
think
looking at it,
eventually
plus,
they're going to lose one of these close games.
The Vikings look decent against the Ravens. Like, not great, but like
Yeah, and they're
Not
still figuring
awful.
things out.
the
With
only
JJ
bad part
McCarthy.
was the connection between Jefferson and JJ McCarthy were not on the same page.
Yeah.
But
Oh, any of you guys want to
But JJ
trade
looks
for
bad out of
Justin
the game.
Jefferson? Any of you guys want to trade a running back for Justin Jefferson?
I'll look into it.
I'll give you Tony Pollard.
Maybe.
It's
Oh, I
fine.
don't have running backs. Never mind.
Yeah, we're on
We
the
can talk
same
about it
fantasy
later.
football
I'll give you
league.
Tony Pollard, Dan.
And then Thursday is
True,
Jets
I think I'm gonna mute
Patriots.
you.
I'm just
Jets
playing
scored
ball,
3
Matt.
special
Playing
teams.
ball. You're talking to our running back.
Yeah,
You're talking about
right.
running back committee stock up, and you won't even take them. That's a great committee.
All right. Well, this was our Week 10 segment of PFS podcast. So thank you guys
Strong
for watching.
close.
Hit that like, that subscribe. All right, let's try it again.
Leave a
Cut
comment. Let us know what you're at.
that. All right. Thank you guys for watching the PFS podcast. We will catch you next week. We should be up on Wednesday, and we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Peace.
Attaboy.